I mean, 2-0 in both legs is not bad at all. Um, it should have been 3-0 aggregate score, but a late one from Messi brought it to 4-0 on aggregate, 2-0 in both legs. That's not bad at all because people thought it was going to be 6 in one leg and 6 in the other. Overall, I'm pleased with the first leg performance. The second leg performance, not so pleased. There were times in the second half where I saw Cavalier moving the ball, but I just figured they could have done that early. And then Inter Miami got tired in the second half, weren't pressing, and they weren't pressing the envelope, to kind of just push them back a little bit. Inter Miami was giving them time and space, and they were just passing the ball back to Richard King. But it was a good showing for the country. People come out to see Messi and watch football, and sponsors come out, put up what they need to put up, and it was an overall good look. Big event.
Big event. Mr. CC Sports, what's your closing remarks there? From the two legs.
As I said, the Cavaliers team gave a good account of themselves. They played brilliantly in the first half. In the first game against Inter Miami, didn't get the reward of getting that goal. In the second half, they dropped a bit, but they gave a good account of themselves in the first game. In the second game, I think they didn't acquit themselves as much in the first half, but in the second half, they upped the tempo and took the game a bit to Inter Miami. And I think they can all go on with their head held high in terms of their performance. I know the result will not be what they would want it to be, but it's just to pick up from here. They learned from last year. Last year they got 2-0 and then 4-0 and lost 6-0. And you look at the goals, first of all, Messi goal shouldn't have scored. That came in like basically last 10 seconds of the game. So effectively they could have lost 1-0. And if you looked at the first goal, the second goal in the first game too, that was like a gimme because they said that there was a handball in the build-up play, and I think they were not playing to the whistle, and they were more focusing and trying to get the call. So in essence, it's probably two decent goals that were scored. If anything, you would say one goal, which is the penalty. So I think three of the goals aren't really they're not goals that you expect to give up very often. So I think they would have gotten this would have been a much better performance from them as opposed to last year. And they just build from strength to strength. I know they have the remainder of the Premier League season to go to try and put themselves back into contention to be in this competition next season. So kudos to Mr. Speed, kudos to the Cavaliers team, and great showing from the Jamaican supporters. 35,000 filled to capacity stadium. Hopefully, we can see that spilled over to Sabina Park on the 21st and the 25th. In terms of Sabina Park, when we play St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I don't know if the people them can still have that adrenaline build up in them where we can spare 20,000 fans. Where's a Crystal spare 20,000 change to come to Sabina Park and give us that kind of support so we can rattle the St. Vincent and Grenadines players and just bring that support there.
Definitely. And Mr. Ballin, I noticed that you was in the studios. My apologies for
You
keeping you.
always you always freeze me out. It's all right.
I know. I'm sorry. What's your closing remark there on both legs?
Well, Cavaliers played decently. I am proud of them. The score, I think, over the two leg, the score should be 2-0 because there were two mistakes made. The second goal in the first match and the penalty. That was can't tackle a man from behind like that. So him should have tried to get ahead of the player. Cavaliers team young, them in them 20s, or them say average is 20.6, them say. Young team, get experience. They played Messi well today. I mean, I was saying 10 seconds leave the game over. Messi now score today. What a thing. Talk too quick. But that is all right. Them get to see Messi. The Jamaicans get to see Messi. And all is well. And Mr. Speed, did a good job again. I mean, like I said before, Chris, I think the game was going to end 1-1 or 0-0. And 2-0. Cavaliers equipped themselves well. I think that the midfield again was kind of missing again. And Jamaica were probably with midfielders. I don't know why we can't find a solid midfield, but hopefully they'll get back to this competition next year, and maybe next year they will win a game or score a goal. They haven't scored yet in 4 tries. Just like Jamaica in the Copa, it took us how long before we scored? I mean, years. So hopefully Cavaliers, Mount Pleasant, whoever gets there next year, hopefully we have all 3 teams in there next year. Because if Cavaliers sit at fifth place right now, CC. Now hear me.
Yeah, in fifth
Cavaliers
place.
Right. So therefore you have Montego Bay, you have a couple teams ahead of them. So you must look at how Cavaliers play Miami and say Jamaica football standards improving. Although Miami team is an old team, but they have experience. The guys are very skilled. And if Cavaliers can hold Miami and trouble them, and they're in fifth place.
No, they're fourth. They're fourth place. Fourth place.
Or fourth place. Or they're fourth place in Jamaica Premier League. That means that the Premier League standard is raising. You understand? I mean, when you look at Cavaliers, are about 5 players or 6 players on the team from other islands, which means that Jamaica Premier League is maybe the number 1 Premier League in the Caribbean. Now it used to be Trinidad, maybe we passed them, which is a good look. And hopefully now we can move forward with players going into the national team. You know what I mean? Hopefully they get so better till we have players going into the national team from the Premier League. And hopefully instead of going to USL, we'll start going to Europe instead. And just Cavaliers playing this game, I'm sure it is a national show on national TV in the US. Maybe other people seeing it in Europe. Hopefully more scouts will come to Jamaica and see what we have to offer and get some other young players over there in Europe somewhere. Good job, Cavaliers.
Yeah, I think, piggybacking on what the lads have said, I think Mr. Ballin closed off well there, and I'll echo what he said. Good job to Cavaliers. I think they did their country proud. CC already touched on the fact that many thought that they would get a complete hammering home and away, and that they'll be left with an embarrassing scoreline. But the results does read for itself. 2-0 on tonight's occasion, 4-0 on aggregate. Subsequently, what that means is that they exit the Concacaf Champions Cup competition with Inter Miami, their opponents, sailing through to the quarterfinals. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. When you look at the caliber of footballers at the disposal of Inter Miami, I think many, as I said, assume that this would be a embarrassing occasion for Cavalier, a young Cavalier side that is. But as I've said on my other live streams, fair play to Cavalier, and also fair play to their gaffer as well, Rudolph Speed. I think they've done a applaudable job. Excellent would mean going through to the next round, so we can't say they've been excellent because, as I said earlier on, they just don't have it in their arsenal. They didn't have that je ne sais quoi in their locker that they needed to implement to get the all-important goals, because football is a results game. Young team, I see this as a learning progress. But as I said on my live stream, I think in the first 45, these young lads have cemented themselves in the history of football in Jamaica. When you think about those iconic, historic, legendary moments, these young Cavalier boys will be able to say, I did that. I played a role in bringing arguably the greatest footballer to ever live to come to Jamaica and to play on the pitch at the National Stadium. And he played more than what we bargained for, or more than what I assumed he would play.
He played half an hour.
I think judging by the state of the National Stadium, I thought maybe they'll give him maybe some 10 minutes or so. Mind you, Inter Miami went off with an early injury. It looks like it was a hamstring injury with one of their players. So I assumed, like many, that he would only get 10 minutes. And, Busquets, not Busquets, Jordi Alba went down holding his ankles again. Fear factor kind of kicked in. So, good showing. The fans in the stadium got their money's worth. I think they got to see the living man live in colors, in flesh, and they also got to see their Messi goal. So I think that is money well spent. I think Mr. Ballin said earlier on
Question.
when he came on
Yeah.
that he believes that this moment can only be eclipsed by the late great Pele. But for my generation, I could only speak for my generation. With the exception of what we've seen of the Reggae Girls qualifying for back-to-back FIFA Women's World Cup round of 16, I think this moment here, Messi playing in Jamaica on home soil, puts itself in a league of its own. Mr. Ballin, you were saying something?
Yeah, I want to ask CC a question. CC, you still there?
I think he just
CC
turned his
gone.
camera. No, I think
No,
he's there.
I'm still here.
Yeah, CC. Why Speed don't start the Trinidadian youth brethren? Him put
For some
life in the
reason,
game.
to be honest, I don't know. You know that guy, that player was at a MLS club, if I'm not mistaken. He was on the fringes of a MLS club before, So he's a quality player because I think he got the opportunity when they were playing. I think Jamaica played Trinidad in the Gold Cup, and he absolutely wiped the floor with Lembikisa. So at that point in time, I think he got an opportunity, but I don't know why he doesn't play more often. That player
No,
left.
because he put the Miami under, and him really show up for it. Him put Miami under pressure. And I think from the first game I thought he should have started. Maybe him not fit. It's just I don't like asking the Speed that question. Why you don't start this young man? He starts in the Premier League. CC gone again.
Pick up yourself there, Drew Frost.
No, I'm still here, man. It's for me, as I said before, I don't want to knock the coach statistics. Sorry, the coach intention. I'm not starting him because sometimes you have that player who is more of an impact player right now in terms of coming off the bench and giving you something in the game. So maybe the energy that you saw him give coming on in the first game and even this game, you probably wouldn't have seen it in if he started. So I mean, I'm not going to knock the coach's decision and not starting him or bringing him on at a certain point in time. I just think there was individual mistakes. The first goal, the penalty was a mistake. Like the way in which you're going for that ball, like who swings their foot like that as a football player, as a defender? You're not supposed to be swinging your leg like that. So that was a awful tackle and clear penalty.
Yeah, well, he's 19 still, so I'm going to give him a break.
Yeah. Ainsworth do it?
Yeah, Ainsworth. Ainsworth side. Yeah, Ainsworth.
It was poor, man. It's a poor penalty to give away.
Apart from that, he had a good game, but
he had a good game in both games, but that was a poor penalty to give away. And I think, as I said before, when you look at the goals, that is what you see. Football is like this. That is why we love the game. Unlike basketball and some other sports where points is a premium, football goals are not a premium. Goals is a rarity. Like unlike some games, we will see a bunch of goal is something that is rare, and to give away certain type of goals, it can hurt you. But I think, as I said, they gave a good account of themselves. They played well enough to even earn a draw at least out of one of these fixtures.
In both games.
Yes, so they played well enough to earn a draw. And I think that's where you look at in terms of the coach's statics, and you look at sometimes quality chum statics, because as good as you can be as a coach, if you don't have certain type of quality player, then the person with the higher quality usually wins out most of the time.
Yes. And these players are young. I know Speed may ship them off soon to some parts far. But you could see where these guys, if they were playing at this level very often, they would improve very, very much. The improvement will be faster because they know they have to be on point in this game. Is not, and one mistake, these guys will burn you. And they really, and I must give, I guess, kudos to King again. King need to leave Jamaica. King can't spend a next season in the Premier League. And I don't know why him can't get into Europe somewhere, because the way him play, you hear the commentary that's talking about him. He's the best defender on the field, even with the Miami defenders. What do you guys think?
Let me just say something. Drew Ross, I'm so sorry I butchered your name. My apologies. It wasn't on purpose. So big up yourself, Drew Ross. Jamaican View by Robert C. Gray, big up yourself. Kyle Wallace, big up yourself. Sebastian, big up yourself. Redlaw the Future, big up yourself. Bird Boy, big up yourself as well. The Doctor in the comment section, big up yourself. Mindset Media, big up yourself. Jaquin Smith, I hope I pronounced your name right. Big ups to you as well. And just scroll through this comment section because you guys have been here.
Maybe his name Joaquin.
Oh, Joaquin. Could be. It's a foreign one to me. At Coach's Desk, you were here earlier on. Blair Video, big up yourself. Joseph Gray, big up yourself. Marvelous McMain, big up yourself. Damian Hilton, shout out to you. And I think that is probably it. And of course, the family for Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club, Texican, Grimy, CC Sports, those guys dropped some comments in the comment section. Also the president, Mr. Issa Allen. And also shouts out to the rest of the team. I know Kimo was on ground in Jamaica doing some work, so I hope he is enjoying the occasion. It's probably soon to come to an end for him. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone. Siobhan as well. Siobhan was at the game at the ground. I hope he enjoyed himself, and I hope everyone gets home safe and unharmed. I am so sorry. I realized after I said it in my head, I was just like, I just called you the wrong name. My apologies. Yeah. Back to what Mr. Ballin was saying. I think we've got maybe just 4 more minutes until we close off with this one, guys. Mr. Ballin saying that King, you said, I agree with you. I don't think he should spend another season in the JPL. I think he needs to grow now, spread his wings, go and learn the other part of the trade that you're not going to learn when you're in the Jamaica Premier League. No disrespect to the league, but he now needs to just get out of that league to better his game. He's 23 years old. I think now is the time as he's edging towards what should be the peak years of his career. Once you get to those 25 and onwards, 25, 26 peak years of your career, he needs to just get on his skate and just get going, go and learn somewhere else. Where is he going to go? Is it a case? I know some people don't like the MLS. Is it a segue into the MLS, or is he coming to Europe? I'm not really sure, but I think just like what Mr. Ballin was saying, it's time for him to just get moving now.
Yeah. One question to CC before you're cut off. CC, when they name in the Jamaica squad?
It'll be tomorrow, Friday.
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, Crystal, when I tell us a correction, the second best player to grace Jamaica shores.
Pele is the first.
Remember Pele.
Don't think I went there. I did say for Mr. Ballin, it's Pele. It's Pele, but for me.
To be honest though, I think if you're really honest with the history and everything, the 3 greatest players has to be Pele, Maradona, Messi. If you should be honest in that order. But as I said, we are younger, so maybe my generation will say Messi.
I have to say Messi. I can't say Pele because I'll be lying to myself. Because what do I know about Pele really and truly?
Yeah.
What we see on YouTube.
No, that's what I was saying. But I'm telling you, when I look at it, right, I'm looking at it from this. If I should say the greatest player I have seen, I would say Messi. But if I should say the greatest player in history, I would say Pele, because it's different to say in history in terms of what we'd have read and what would have transpired versus to say who I have seen. So what I have seen is different, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Drew Ross don't agree with us. He's saying CR7. I'm backing you in that though, CC. I'm saying Messi, the little magician.
Yeah. But the thing about it, remember, is just even look on it like this, Crystal, the story behind Pele going into Brazil losing the World Cup in 1954. Then while Pele was a youngster, watching the World Cup, going at 17, scoring a hat-trick, thinking one of the games, then scoring a brace in the final, scoring a hat-trick, and then come and score a brace in the final at 17 years old, winning the World Cup for Brazil. And then all of those things, I think, based on what he would have done. And then people don't remember, people forget that Pele brought the game to America in terms of club football, when in terms of Cosmos, and then there was this thing, Mikey Ballin, that a lot of people don't understand, that Pele didn't play a lot in the Copa Libertadores, which is the South American Champions League, because Santos had to be a traveling team, because Brazil declared him a national treasure.
The private chat, please.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. So I think the thing what I say is, when Pele when Santos, because I think Juventus, one of those clubs in Italy, wanted to sign him, but because they declared Pele a national treasure and the clubs in Europe couldn't get to sign him, what they was doing is bringing Santos out, flying Santos out to play multiple games. So because of that, Santos pulled out of the regional competitions that they would have been playing in South America. So they didn't play a lot of Copa Libertadores, and I think even Pele didn't play a lot of Copa America in the period of time. So I think people don't, because of who Pele was. Imagine in Europe they had Di Stefano, they have Eusebio, all of these guys, but here you have to fly out a little black boy from out of South America every time to come and play in Europe against the Juventus, the Inter Milans, the AC Milans, the Real Madrids, all of these teams, simply because you could not get to sign him. So I think because of that, and because there weren't any social media at the time, the impact, I think that is the same thing, Crystal, with the Michael Jordan. There weren't any social media, yet 6 billion people knew Michael Jordan. So it's the same where there wasn't any social media, but the entire world knew Pele. So, I mean, with that being said, I think it's the Trinity. So it's just who is, in terms of modern, I think like Messi would have basically left the game in terms of the top level now. And I think there's a gap, because Pele would have finished 1970, then Maradona would have came in the 70s, late 70s. 82 basically, and Pele would have exited. But then Pele coming out from 82 now. No, sorry, Maradona coming from 82 go to 94, and then there was a gap, and then Messi came in 04. We would have seen a lot of wonderful footballers. So I guess it's another decade before we see somebody rise up to the level where we can look at it and say, this guy is the next modern player, which the next generation, Crystal, will be saying.
What do you think about Mbappe?
I think Mbappe, I don't think he has. If you look at the players, if you look at the description of Pele, the description of Maradona, the description of Messi, I don't think Mbappe has that type of description in terms of that creative number 10 player who is also a premier goal scorer. So he's a premier goal scorer, but I don't see him as a premier creative player. Okay. And I think all three players were premier creative players, but they were also premier goal scorers, because even Maradona scored 45 goals in the league down in his league down in Argentina. So in terms of premier, so maybe even the guy named Yamal, probably in the next decade, he will be one of those guys that people are looking towards. But as I said, to me, it's just how you look at football and where the football is right now. But
you're saying Messi then, right?
Me?
Messi there?
If I'm saying Messi, no, I think based on what he's achieved and everything, I don't think he's the most entertaining player, but he's definitely the greatest player active or alive.
The top three is Pele. Yeah, I want to go with Messi then Maradona, but it can go either way. So they could go either way between Messi and Maradona, the second place.
Seems
But
like Owen. Oh, this is the first time in my life I've ever seen a comment like that. I feel like he's just saying that. Surely he doesn't mean it.
Messi
Owen,
over.
I can read what you just said because I don't even believe you believe what you just typed. In all honesty, but to each their own. You're
Yeah.
entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. And I think Mbappe going to be the next poster boy if him not get injured. Huh?
Football,
Mbappe.
football,
Yeah, I think
or
he's the best right now. I think he's the best right now.
I think for me, it depends though. I think it kind of up for grabs right now because this little youth named Lamine Yamal, I think Mbappe at the opportunity is definitely there because of the World Cup and what he would have won. But Yamal, having won the Euro recently, if Spain goes on to win the World Cup, I think Lamine Yamal will be thrusted into that spotlight. So I think next World Cup is the time for Yamal to stake his claim. If he can win the World Cup and basically put himself to the forefront, I think it will be him versus Mbappe. And I think that's what La Liga should be marketing: Yamal versus Mbappe. But
Question. Oh God, Ronaldo. Where you put him? Where you put Ronaldo, Crystal?
Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
top 10. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, it's different.
Him up there too, but I don't know why I don't. He creates, he does everything. So him up there too, but him not in Messi class.
Mikey be mind them Buckley, you know.
Eh? What?
And demand them in that comment section, Buckley.
What the man say? Haters?
No, they you got you're upsetting the Ronaldo fans.
Ronaldo a chacha boy, man. Him good still enough. And I got to him good. Him up there. Him in the top 10. Like CC say, him up there, but him not in the top 3. And in his prime, when him and Messi was in their prime, they were bad, but Messi was ahead of him all the way. I mean, this Mbappe now is ahead of him comes the old man now. Him and Mbappe at the same age, I think he's better than Mbappe.
Yeah, I think commenting on Mbappe, I think the way that Mbappe burst onto the scene, it's almost like a blessing and a curse in a way because he achieved so much so young. Like he was instrumental in France winning the World Cup, right? And they could have gone back to back, but they had so many key players missing at the last FIFA Men's World Cup that they just couldn't get it over the line. And had he done that with the number, one second. Had he done that with the number of players that were missing from that France squad, maybe we'll be having an entirely different conversation about Mbappe, in terms of where to rank him, even with what Lamine Yamal has done with Spain. But even more so with Mbappe, I think the reason why the conversation is a bit up in the air with him is because a lot of people feel like he spent too long at PSG, like he needed to just get on his skate and get moving. Obviously, he's done that now, but it's almost as if he's playing a little bit of a catch up with his career. And you still want to know, is he with all those good fantastic caliber of athletes around him at Real Madrid, can he still make it him? Can he still be the protagonist, you know, around all of that talent? And he has to do a couple of that before you can, for me, rank him in his level of greatness or GOAT, whatever way you want to look at it. Sorry, Mr. Ballin, saying?
No. I lose my chain of thought. I don't remember what I was going to say.
I think, as I said, Mikey,
that I think you wanted to comment on when I was saying that Mbappe, the blessing and the curse for Mbappe is the manner in which he burst onto the scene and the role that he played in France.
What I want to say in that World Cup, but against Argentina, right? Is Argentina knocked them out, right?
In the final.
Huh?
In the final.
You're talking about last World. Yeah.
Argentina. is the what are you the name again? What Mr. Sitter? What name again?
Oh, I
It,
think I know. I think I
the
know what you're
French.
talking.
France get the game for winning. The brother get an empty goal, and I don't know what he did. But when you're playing a big game, pressure, them say boss pipe.
Immortality, man. Big up,
Eh?
Cranky. But it's the fine line between immortality. But I
Yeah.
think you know what happened to with it. This is why I tell people titles will always define players. Is
Yeah,
no
man.
matter he will score goals and all of these things, but add Mbappe one day Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain and come and won the World Cup again. Undoubtedly, the conversation would be who is actually the greatest because he would have won a World Cup, as Crystal said, with Pogba and all of those guys, and then he would have won one with them missing as well, and then he would have carried a Paris Saint-Germain team and won Champions League as well. So it would have almost been like, look at his body effort and look at what he has done, and then people would be comparing and say, oh, look at the other players and the great players they would have around them. So it's sometimes is legacy defining, like Maradona at Napoli. That was his legacy defining moment in terms of winning the league with Napoli twice. And Napoli have never won the league before. Wasn't as big as a Juventus, wasn't as big as a AC Milan, wasn't as big as a Inter Milan. And then they only recently won it again since he has died. So I mean, it's the legacy defining moment with a lot of players. I hear even people saying this, Mikey, and not to really go to basketball, but when LeBron scored like 50,000 points in combination between playoff and regular season, a lot of people making a bunch of noise about it. But I am here to tell them that the 3-1 comeback from Golden State is far greater than anything that he have done in his career. I did not have that 3-1 on his resume. 50,000 points doesn't matter because Karl Malone has scored 37,000 points. Nobody in their right mind will tell you that Karl Malone is greater than Steph Curry.
Yeah. But they play a different position anyway. So
they play a different position, but I'm saying as a basketball player, what Karl Malone failed to achieve in his career, Steph Curry would have achieved over a period of time. And people will say, oh, he may be playing for a better Golden State team. That doesn't matter. It comes back down to were you able to galvanize your team to championships, or weren't you able to do it? Not the individual accolades, because if we were to sit down and talk about who scored the most points, then I guess Karl Malone would be a better scorer than Michael Jordan, having scored 6,000 more points than Michael Jordan, or 5,000 more points.
Yeah. But I have a question for you now, you two. If Messi didn't win the World Cup, where would you put him?
Messi for me is still the greatest. Still the greatest.
If he didn't win the World Cup?
Irrespective of that, because if that's the case, big up yourself, Cranky, by the way. Guys, if you're not familiar with Cranky Live, please to his channel and hit the like and subscribe button. Likewise, do the same for Jordan as well. Head over to his channel and hit the like and subscribe button. Because if that's the case, Mr. Ballin, we shouldn't even be talking about CR7 then, should we?
No, that's why I said, see, all right, look at it like this. I think had Messi not won the World Cup, a lot of people would have not elevated him. As a matter of fact, he's winning the World Cup and giving a performance at the World Cup. Because Messi was garbage at for a couple of the World. Messi wasn't anything at 2018. He wasn't anything at 2010. And 2006, they might be giving him a break because he was a juvenile, and the coach, to me, Peckerman, didn't do him well justice. 2014, he won play the tournament, but I think James Rodriguez deserved that. So I think Messi, what hinged on Messi becoming the GOAT for a lot of people, Crystal, was Messi performance for Argentina. And having won the World Cup and then Copa America cemented that in a lot of people's mind in terms of the fact that he would have delivered trophies for, and some would say, an unfancied Argentina team. So it's not even like it's an Argentina team when you look at the plethora of stars from previous generations. When you look at Argentina previously to what Messi would have played with recently, Rodrigo De Paul and those guys, they're not. Rodrigo De Paul, I don't think he's better than Juan Sebastian Veron. He wouldn't be in the same conversation. And apart from, I think, Angel Di Maria, you wouldn't necessarily consider some of those players the greatest Argentine players ever to put on a jersey. So when you look at when you look at that, I think it shaped the narrative. As you said, Crystal, you would have had him as GOAT before. A lot of people would have, and you couldn't blame them. But I think it cemented. I mean, when he won the World Cup and then he won the Copa America, I think the conversation about greatest, he basically went into that conversation. Cristiano Ronaldo now. That is why for me, he's not in the GOAT conversation. He can't be in the GOAT conversation without. Remember, it's not like you play for Jamaica, right? You play for Portugal, a country that can compete for the World Cup. It's not like you play for a country that cannot compete for the World Cup, you know. So when you play for a country that can compete for the World Cup, Crystal, is different.
Sorry, CC. But the way that Mr. Ballin just sat down, that's how rich people sit down, you know.
Loaded. Yeah. So I think I think you play for, like, for example, Lamine Yamal. If he should enter the conversation, he has to win a World Cup because you're played for Spain. Not like I think the way in which we mark players who play for Spain, England, France, Italy, Germany, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, it's different from the way we mark players who play for USA, Jamaica, Canada.
I think you look at it slightly different to myself, though, CC. Sorry to interject, but I think Ronaldo, although he's not, for me, he's not the greatest of all time. I think it's Messi, right? Arguably so. But I think irrespective of him not having the World Cup under his belt, I think he is still in the conversation of being arguably the greatest player of all time. Like, I think it just comes down to maybe that conversation is subjective with a little bit of facts behind it, but I think he's definitely in the conversation. I just think Messi taking it over the line edges him out because he has the World Cup. Now, if you want to eclipse him or again rub shoulder to shoulder with him, you have to win the World Cup. But I think in terms of that conversation, that was dead and buried because Messi has won the World Cup. But I think Cristiano Ronaldo definitely should be in the conversation.
I mean, but look at it like this, Crystal. If we should name our top 10 players of all time, technically it's almost like all of these players you could make a conversation of one of them being the greatest of all time. I'll give you that.
Only one player can be the greatest.
No, what I'm trying. No, what me I say?
You can't talk about nobody else but Pele.
No, what me I say is you have Pele, you have Maradona, you have Messi, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you have Zinedine Zidane, you have Ronaldo Nazario de Lima, you have Paolo Maldini, you have Ferenc Puskas. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like the type.
Willy van de Kerkhoff.
Look what hear this player, Ruud Gullit, right? Ruud Gullit.
Yeah.
I think Ruud Gullit was a player who, as a defender, was brilliant. As a midfielder, was brilliant. As a striker, was brilliant. Ruud Gullit is a player who, anywhere you put him on the football field, he was brilliant in terms of position. So it's basically like a conversation of preference for some people. And
what do you think about Beckenbauer? What do you think about Beckenbauer?
But I think depends on the conversation. I think Paolo Maldini is the greatest defender bar none, given the fact that this guy was like played at a high level for a certain amount he played in 9 Champions League finals, if I'm not mistaken. This guy is a different level of beast, and he could play anywhere in the back line. And then you have Franco Baresi. Remember, Mikey Ballin. There was a defense that conceded 15 goals and scored 36. Their team scored 36 goals and won the league. Can you imagine a team score 36 goals and winning a league title, Crystal?
How much games they play? About 36 also.
Exactly. And they won the league. 34 games they played. And they won the league title. Scored 36 goals, won the league title, and 34 games played. You're only able to do that when you have a Paolo Maldini and a Franco Baresi in your backline. The greatest defenders you could ever imagine. So I think when you look at the type of players, I think that is why even Michael Jordan said it doesn't do justice to consider one player the GOAT, because you're really looking at other eras and players from other eras. But as I said, I wouldn't knock anybody. Like Messi won everything. He has won everything. He has done everything. And you can't take it from him in terms of Champions League, the league title, World Cup, Copa America. There's no trophy that he has not won. And as a matter of fact, he has won the most trophies as a footballer. Because I think he has eclipsed Dani Alves in terms of trophies won. So, no matter whatever you're using as your criteria.
Anyway, people I'm being summoned, so in a Texas saying, so you know, everybody have gone down here, so me have to go academy start fire
Hey,
shot.
look, next time read the itinerary, okay, Mr. Ballin?
The itinerary, minus in itinerary.
Next time read your itinerary before going from state to state.
You see, it down is them can you see down here, so a pure cow and animal me I see. You understand? I mean, wilderness. Eh?
The country live in. Nothing better than the country live in.
Yeah. All right, then we're gone.
All right, take care, sir. Bye-bye. Yeah, Cece, I think you're gonna let them bottle you in the comment section by telling them that their GOAT can't be. You put him in the top 10. I think he pissed some people off with that. But
let me give you a better than guys. I have him at fifth or sixth. Yeah. I probably have him at sixth because I have Zinedine Zidane and Ronaldo Nazario above him. That's the 5. Messi, Pele, Maradona, Ronaldo, and Zidane, and then CR7. 6.
oh my God, Zidane! Oh wow. Wow, we've been so privileged. We've been so privileged. I know he's not part of the conversation, right, in terms of GOAT, but one of the players that I enjoyed watching growing up. Can you name who he is? He's Brazilian.
One of the players that Ronaldinho.
I mean, yeah, he's like my favorite, but not Ronaldinho, someone else.
That you enjoyed growing up.
Yeah, but watching him.
I would say Dani Alves.
Ronaldinho. So yeah, that's my GOAT. Say it again.
No, you said Ronaldinho?
No, Ronaldinho, my GOAT. That's my GOAT. Love watching him. The man just made football smile. Like
that's what I was just saying to you. Like, yo.
No. It's not Ronaldinho is my GOAT, but I wasn't even referring to him.
What you talking about, Rivaldo?
No.
So the which Kaka?
Yes.
Kaka is my player.
I love Kaka. I used to play like Pro Evolution Soccer because I preferred it for FIFA, and that guy had to be in my team. Like Kaka had to be in my team. I love that guy. Wow, Kaka. We've been so privileged. We're a bunch of spoiled brats this generation. Kaka. Wow.
Kaka.
Wow. Yeah, we're just spoiled for choices, aren't we? Yeah, I know he's not in the conversation, but such a fabulous player. Definitely enjoyed watching him play. And Ronaldinho, like that man made football smile. Impossible to watch that guy and not just be in awe. I mean, yeah, if you talk about aura, that is him. Aura, Ronaldinho all day long.
But listen, there's too many. There's so like I think Brazilians romanticize football, and there's just a lot of those things. But as I said, big up yourself, Crystal. Big up everybody on the chat. That's a conversation for another time. But we've been blessed with ubers of talent. Dennis Bergkamp, Marco Overmars, like there's just Uber.
Hey, don't name no more Arsenal because I have a feeling that Drew Ross is a Man United fan. Something's telling me that he's a Man United fan at heart. So don't name no more Arsenal stars.
No, man,
right?
I think Cristiano Ronaldo, people don't understand to put Cristiano Ronaldo 6th. I just think Cristiano Ronaldo is absolutely brilliant. But I think when I watch Ronaldo Nazario de Lima, the health phenomenon, that was a different beast. And when you watch even Zinedine Zidane, the way he played, I think it's absolutely different. We have to go do a different show, and in terms of
come back. I mean, how he is a man. I knew it. I knew he was like backing heavily. I'm like, yeah. An old school Man United fan. Cece, any closing remarks before we end the stream? It's been almost 3 hours and 40 minutes.
No, man, I said my closing remarks already in terms of...
I mean, you don't want to sell your platform? I was referring to your platform.
Oh, yes, guys. Remember to go over to CC Sportz Lab. Thank you for all the support you have given me so far. So I mean, just look out for more content. I will try to do at least. I'm trying to do like starting probably next week or so.
Absolutely. And guys, it's been an absolute pleasure rocking with you guys for almost 4 hours. Thank you so much for supporting myself. Big ups to CC Sports. Big up to Issa Allen. Big up to the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. Do make sure you subscribe to each of our channel and also hit the like button. I'm going to leave you with a ad for the upcoming Reggae Boys match against St. Vincent. So do go ahead and give that a listen and do what the lads said in the comment section. Hit that like button for me, please, and thank you. Tomorrow is the lovely Friday, and that is the start of the weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, I do hope that you have a smashing Friday. See you out this week. Let it end on a productive and positive note. And if I don't see you over the weekend, I hope you have a smashing weekend. And you know how it goes.
Boys and Girls Supporters Club and Original Dancehall Thursday invite you to rally behind the Reggae Boys as they take on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In the Gold Cup prelims, join us Friday, March 21st at 52 Dunbarton Avenue for the ultimate Reggae Boys watch party. Doors open at 4 p.m. Performance by Luciana, Tishana, Rebel T Sound, Oliver, Metro Media, Alanza R. Admission $500. Come out in your Jamaican colors. Diaspora fans, sign up now and watch it on JFF Live.
AK.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.